What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CU04 YouTube channel. You join me where Carlisle United have just beaten Scunthorpe United. Scunthorpe's first league defeat of the season. Carlisle United coming away with a 1-0 victory down at the Attis Arena this evening in, well, a bit weird one, it 5:30 kickoff for Carlisle, but Carlisle coming away with the win. Just more clinical in the end, Carlisle. I thought both teams looked good in the game at different points of the game. I thought Scunthorpe started very well that first 30 minutes or so. Carlisle grew into the game well in sort of the last 15 minutes of the first half. Of course, then a red card changed things a little bit. I didn't think it was the referee's best performance. I don't normally come on and criticise the referees, but I thought Scunthorpe potentially could have had another red card. But in saying that, I thought Scunthorpe also could have had a penalty in the second half. So it wasn't the best game for the referee. I thought Carlisle played well to get the point. I don't think there can be much complaints that Carlisle won the game, but I also wouldn't have complained if Scunthorpe had equalised in the game, to be fair. It was one of them. It was one of them where it's two decent sides playing each other, and just a moment in the game has decided the victory. And, you know, luckily for Carlisle, we were the ones coming away with the victory in that game. But I don't think there can be any complaints with a Carlisle victory, as I've just said. Carlisle definitely grew into the game and, you know, looked like a top 3-4 side in the division. But moving into the game then, I thought the pitch looked absolutely awful. It's definitely seen better days, hasn't it? You know, it's not really a massive criticism. It's fair play that the game's even on with the weather that we've been having over the last couple of days. But the pitch looked really rough, and I thought the players did well to adapt to that. Although I thought early on we were just lumping the ball forward without much purpose, to be honest, instead of sort of trying to play that ball in. But it was a really good opportunity for Scunthorpe very early on. The ball's come into the box. Their winger, so easy getting past that. I think it was on our left-hand side, to get in past Harper. So easy to get in, and he gets the low ball into the box, and it's been cleared off the line by Morgan Feeney. But then Carlisle can't fully clear it, and Scunthorpe back straight into the attack. And he sort of gets on a 2-on-2 position, and it maybe could have shot, but he plays the ball across the box instead, and Archie Davies is just there to pull it behind for the corner. But Carlisle, it really should have been 1-0 for Scunthorpe. Two wonderful chances very, very early on in the game, and then what was going to be a criticism of Aaron Hayden turns into a positive a couple of minutes later. But Carlisle with the corner came in. Scunthorpe struggled with the corners all game, really struggled to defend the corners from the height of Carlisle, the strength of Carlisle, and it was the first one came in now, and Hayden must do better. He really has to do better. He heads it well wide. Seemed to be a bit of a free header, and he just glanced off his the side of his head, and he's put it wide. And you think, oh, wow, you really need to be doing better there. But literally 2 minutes later, the same corner comes in, and Aaron Hayden makes it 1-0. Scunthorpe not learning from the mistakes from that first corner, bit of a let off for them. And then the next corner comes in, and Aaron Hayden's just there. Well, Amber's on the goalkeeper, and the keeper comes out, completely misses the ball, completely misses it in no man's land, which leaves a open net for Aaron Hayden to volley the ball into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to Carlisle United. And it was one of them. At the point of the game, I didn't think we deserved to go 1-0 up. I thought Scunthorpe were the better of the sides, as I said, in that first half an hour. But Carlisle took the opportunity really well. And as I say, Scunthorpe does not learn from their mistakes. They will be fuming and watching that goal back, knowing the same thing has just happened a couple of minutes ago. But then later into the second half, Carlisle started settling into the game. And then a straight red card, that I think the player was already on a yellow, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a straight red card. I haven't seen a replay of it, and the referee has a much better view than I've got. It didn't even look a foul, I'll be honest, from the position of, like, from where the camera was showing it, and not seeing a replay or anything. So if it is a foul and a red card, then absolutely fair enough. But from what I've seen, it didn't really look like a foul, to be honest, especially when I'll get onto something in a moment. But the referee reached for the card, and it was a straight red card, not a second yellow, a straight red. Obviously one of the talking points there. But George Kelly did get up holding his knee, so he obviously there's been contact on his knee. It's a high challenge. It's a reckless challenge. But yeah, I was a bit surprised to see the red card, to be fair. And then Carlisle from the free kick actually hit the post. I think it was Regan Linney with a header, and he just sort of come off the inside of the post and rolled across the goal line. Could have been 2-0, but unfortunately it didn't. And then it really should have been 2-0 a couple of minutes later. Georgie Kelly getting behind the defenders. He maybe just took one too many touch maybe, and it's a brilliant slide and tackle from the defender in the end to make the block. But then Kelly does really well to get up from that block and gets another shot away. Really poor effort, to be fair. The goalkeeper with an easy save, and Luamba can't just get the rebound and the defender clears it for the corner. But it could have been 2-0 there. George Kelly with a good opportunity, great tackle from the defender. Fortunately just couldn't take his opportunity at the second time of asking. And then in the last sort of minute of the first half, it was a nasty tackle on Junior Luamba. Who had to actually go off because of it. He looked a bit disorientated, to be fair, but it's an elbow into Luamba. And I mean, the referees give a yellow card. He's obviously had he put his hand to his ear, so he's fourth official or assistance, obviously giving him a bit of input there. But if the first one's a straight red card, that one's a red card for me. I'll be honest, but I think he's bottled it because he's just given a red card. He didn't want to give Scunthorpe a second red card in such a short period of time, but that's just my opinion. You might not agree with it, but I think a few people on social media had said if that first one isn't given as a red card, that one definitely would have been. But I mean, that's not how the rules work. If that one should have been a red card, it still should have been a red card regardless of other cards in the game. But the ref was very happy, like a few of the National League ones have been. But anyway, I'd say Scunthorpe got away with one, but I would also say that, the first one wasn't a red card for me on first viewing. So, I mean, that levels it out, doesn't it? And I will get on to a Scunthorpe penalty in a little while. But coming into the second half was a weird second half. It was a very end-to-end game at times in the second half, but I thought it was just Carlisle looked comfortable in the game. Scunthorpe didn't really... They had a lot of the ball, but they didn't really do a lot with it. Carlisle had a few decent opportunities as well, don't get me wrong. But I thought Scunthorpe, especially being 1-0 down, trailing, and being at home, they probably would have wanted to have went out and made a better go of things in the second half. I mean, they got very unlucky in certain areas, and Carlisle defended very well. But like I was saying about Scunthorpe's corners, they looked very poor defensively on corners. So normally when you're poor defensively on the corner, you're not great at attacking the corner. So every time the ball went out for the corner, I wasn't really worried. And I thought Gabe Rees recently has done a really good job of coming off his line on corners, collecting the ball comfortably. I thought he'd continue that today, but there was a decent chance for Scunthorpe around the hour mark that their player fires over. Should really be testing Gabe Rees in that situation. And there's a brilliant bit of play from Carlisle. Linney finds the ball to Alex Gilliard. Gilliard plays it back to Stephen Wern, and Stephen Wern's effort actually looks like Georgie Kelly's directed it wide. I don't know if it was going in because I thought the keeper probably could have got down to it to save it, but it looks like Kelly actually nicks it wide from Stephen Wern's shot. And then the corner came in from Scunthorpe, and there's a bit of a melee in the box, there's loads of people there, but I actually thought Carlisle's man, whoever it was, because there's about 7 people in that area, but I actually thought Carlisle's man has took out the Scunthorpe attacker. I think he's got the man before the ball, and it could have been a penalty. There was a decent appeal for Scunthorpe. Obviously the referees waved it away, but I thought Carlisle were quite fortunate not to give away a penalty there, to be perfectly honest. And then going into very late stages of the game, not many talking points really in the second half, but Declan Howe's header off the post late on in about the 94th minute. Wow, time just sort of stood still as he won the header, and then it ricocheted off the post, and you were just hoping Carlisle cleared it. And Josh Williams, if not a bit maybe too confident in the 94th minute, to just dribble the ball out, but confidence from Williams just to get rid, instead of just booting it, keeps the possession, keeps the ball for Carlisle, and then a minute later, in the 95th minute, there's a ball to George Kelly. I have no idea how George Kelly's onside. He looked as if he was about 15 yards behind the defender. Obviously, the ball's just being booted long, and Kelly gets onto it, and it's really good hold of play from George Kelly. It's a great ball to find Stephen Wern, and Stephen Wern, I mean, everything you don't want to do in that position, Stephen Wern has done. He's leant back, and he's just fired the ball way over the bar, when he could have put the game to bed to make it 2-0 to Carlisle, but he didn't. It didn't matter in the end. Carlisle came away with the 3 points, with the 1-0 victory. The 1 goal from Aaron Hayden was enough. And yeah, it was a good performance from Carlisle, to be fair, against a strong Scunthorpe side. And I know they were missing a couple of key players in that game, but Carlisle did what they needed to do. It's a tough away game, and especially the games recently where we've played a top side in the division in York and Rochdale. We haven't lived up to the game, but we did today. We lived up to it. We looked like a top side today, and we're coming away with a very, very good 3 points away from home as we go into a week off from the league, as we obviously have a FA Cup game against Boston coming up before a massive game against Forest Green at Brunton Park. But what were your thoughts on the game? If you made the travel down there, safe travels back up on what is a horrible day here in the United Kingdom. But yeah, no, safe travels to anyone on the way home. Hope it's been a fantastic away day for you with that 1-0 victory. Same as last time we went down to Scunthorpe bagging a 1-0 victory. But yeah. What are your thoughts on the game, though? If you're a Scunthorpe fan, if you're a Carlisle fan, let me know what we thought on the referee. Was it a red card? Should they have had another red card? Should the Scunthorpe have had a penalty? I'll have that discussion with you in the comments down below. But thank you so much for watching this video. I've been CU4, and I'll see you in the next one.